الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون فيا إخوة والأخوات السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته وبعد فأوصيكم وإياي بتقوى الله فإن خير الزاد التقوى والعاقبة للمتقين وخير كلام الله وخير حج محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. And we ask of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to always keep us motivated to be on the truth, and inshaAllah ta'ala to find it in His infinite mercy to always have mercy on us and our families, forgive our sins and grant us all places in Jannatul Firdaus. Allahumma ameen. Insha'Allah ta'ala, in the few minutes that I have today, I will humbly remind myself and you of something pertinent of this deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I hope that with His mercy and guidance we get us all closer to Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a declaration a long time ago to all of us, irrespective if we like it or not, or if we are convinced it is the truth or not. And He says, as I remind myself and remind you from Surah Al-Anbiya, the 21st chapter of the Quran, verse number 25. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وما أرسلنا من قبلك من رسول إلا نوحي إليه أنه لا إله إلا أنا فاعبدون. Allah said, and He's addressing the Prophet ﷺ, I did not send before you any prophet or messenger except that I ordered them to worship me, so you do the same. And this is a declaration that Allah made to all of us. So today, inshallah ta'ala, I will first try to remind myself, then you, of some benefits from among the many benefits of this Tawheed and what we are missing by detaching ourselves from it. And this is happening more rapidly today. Today we are in such a situation that everyone thinks that we are not worth anything. But if you and I are sensible, you would observe that the biggest election of the world, the Muslims are playing the most important and dominant role in it. It is such a big concern that they would like to know who are with the Muslims and who are not. So this should tell us something, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has definitely dignified our presence on earth. And from among the many benefits of this Tawheed, if we are truly sincere to it, first, sincere actions or sincerity in our actions and intention. The first thing that we ought to benefit from this Tawheed is that it should help us to be sincere with our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Bayyinah, chapter 98 of the Quran, verse number 5, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ حُنَفَاءَ وَيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمَةِ. I did not order you to do anything but to worship me sincerely and be hunafa, upright, establish prayer and give zakah. وَذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمَةِ. Many people are saying that we should make Islam easy. We don't have to make Islam easy. Islam is already easy. We have to make sure that we simplify our approach to our deen. And it is very simple. Consolidate our thoughts, remain focused, and tell ourselves that the best thing to hold on to is the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And all Allah is saying, you're ordered to worship sincerely. And if you go a little forward in the same chapter, what Allah says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمْ خَيْرُ الْبَرِيَّةِ. That those who believe and follow up this belief with good deeds and with sincerity, they are the best of humans. And according to Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu and some scholars, this ayah give us that status, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says khairul bariyah. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is dignifying our presence, our situation, by telling us that we are the best, by just obeying sincerely and making sure that we sincerely believe in what is given to us, and confirm that belief by doing good deeds. What is the second benefit that comes with this tawheed? Is that it liberates the mind from every form of irrational and chaotic lust. If our minds are filled with tawheed, then we would have time and space available for anything else. And that is the best possession of a man's heart. Because if you're not thinking about evil, then you're thinking about good. If you're thinking about good, then you won't have time to think about evil. And this is very simple. And it helps us to be upright. Remember the story, and I'm pretty sure most of you are au fait with this more than I am. The story of Umar ibn Khattab when he was the Khalifa. It was customary of him to roam the city at night, especially when it's cold, to make sure that its citizens are taken care of and protected. And he was passing by this hut, and he heard a conversation from within. And this young girl and her mother, milk vendors of the area, the mother is instructing her to pour water in the milk so that it would be more, so that they'll have more milk to sell. So then she said she can't do that. And then the mother said, but the Khalifa can't see you. You know what she said? And this is what Tawheed can do. It rid the minds and the conscious thought of everything that is evil. Is la yarana al-Khalifa, yarana Rabbul Khalifa. The little girl, you know what she said to the mother? If the Khalifa is not seeing us like you're saying, then the Lord of the Khalifa is observing us. That is what this Tawheed is supposed to do. The Tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you're sincere, it's supposed to fill the heart with that which is viable and good and validates our days of living. The third benefit of this Tawheed, from among many others, is that it helps us to establish peace of mind and sound thoughts. Even in the face of death, we are peaceful. We treat death as the inevitable, and it's something that will happen to us. We don't try to avoid it, we try to confront it. Like the Prophet ﷺ, when he was close to dying, and he called his daughter Fatima, and he whispered in her ears that he's about to leave, and she started to cry. So then he called her back again, and he whispered in her ears, you're the first from my family to join me. She didn't sob, she stopped crying, and she was celebrating. Umar ibn Khattab, when he heard the young girl telling her mother that if the Khalifa don't see you, the Lord of the Khalifa would see you. This is what sound thought is. And this is what you call viability of actions. He rushed home to his son and he said, I have a bride for you. No courtship nor dating. Her faith, her aqidah with Allah, her position with Allah is what matters. And he said, you're marrying her. He married his son to that young girl, the milk vendor of the village, the son of the Khalifa, moving from poverty to the castle. You know who came out of that relationship? Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. The historian considered him to be the best Khalifa after the four. From among all those that came after Ali, radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He didn't stand up and say, well, this is a milk vendor. He heard enough. This is a woman of Tawheed. This is a woman of Allah. That she can stand up to her own mother in the face of injustice to her customers. So if we are convinced that this is a Tawheed, and we are saying that this can help us to become sincere, to develop sound minds, to help us to stay away from that which is erratic and chaotic in life, then we have to make an effort. And the fourth benefit is that we have to protect this belief from any form of deviation, any form of deviance. And today that is not a strange thing to our world. Everybody have an opinion about this deen, and it is being followed more than that which is the truth. You tell a man today that the Prophet ﷺ says something, and he would argue with you. But if you tell him his scholar says something, he accepts above that of the Rasul ﷺ. Every form of deviance, we have to protect this against. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2 of the Quran, verse 208, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا دُخُلُوا فِي السِّلْمِ كَافَّةً وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ فَإِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ. Words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Ghafir, chapter 40 of the Quran, verse number 78, وَمَا كَانَ لِرَسُولٍ أَنْ يَأْتِيَ بِآيَةٍ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. In Surah Al-Baqarah, he said, "O you who believe, enter into this silm wholeheartedly. In its entirety accept it, and follow not the footsteps of the devil." And the verse that I quoted from Surah Al-Ghafir, the Rasul ﷺ did not have the ability to bring forth anything except by the permission of Allah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who is giving him instructions. Allah is the one who is directing him. And he didn't have the ability to say anything except with the permission of Allah. So if he instructs us to do something, well, then that is the best for us. And the Prophet ﷺ said, "Al-mu'minu al-qawiyyu khayrun wa ahabba ila Allah min al-mu'minu da'if. Fi kullin khayr." Prophet ﷺ said, "A strong believer is better and more loved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than a weak one. And in all the believing people, they are good." فَاسْتَئِن بِاللَّهِ إِحْرِصْ عَلَى مَا يَنْفَعُكَ. Then protect that which is of benefit to you. وَاسْتَئِن بِاللَّهِ وَلَا تَعْجَزْ. And never lose hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to protect what we have from every form of deviant. And I must commend the brother who delivered the little sermon before, because that is a big issue and Muslims tend to treat it frivolously. If we treat the laws and the standards of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala frivolously, we would always be in turmoil. But if we uphold the laws, we would always be in serenity and we will be protected. Like the man when he came to visit Umar ibn Khattab and he was inquiring, "Where is the Khalifa?" So they said, "Look, the Khalifa is in the desert." So the man was like, "The Khalifa in the desert? This is the leader, the most powerful man in the world, not in the Arab Peninsula. When the oppressors hear that Umar is coming with his forces, they would subdue themselves." That is how powerful he was. And he said, "He's in the desert? No guards or anything?" They said, "Yes." So the man asks again, "Where is the Khalifa? I'm here to see the Khalifa." He said, "The Khalifa is in the desert." So he asks again, "Where is the Khalifa?" They said, "Look, the Khalifa is under the tree sleeping." He went over Umar ibn Khattab and he saw him with his sword stuck on the ground and he sound asleep. You know what he said? "You establish justice and you gain security." You establish justice and you gain security. You don't need guards. Look at this. The head of the nation is sleeping without guards. You're talking about saving taxpayers' money? So that is what we have to protect this from. Remember that it is wholesome. We have to accept it in its entirety. And if we don't, it's a sign of arrogance. If we reject what Allah says and we choose to know, we choose to go with something else, knowing that it is opposite to what Allah dictated for us, then it is a sign of arrogance. And what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in Surah Al-Ghafir, chapter 40 of the Quran, verse number 35? وَكَذَلِكَ يَتْبَعُ اللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ قَلْبِ مُتَكَبِّرٍ جَبَّارٍ. Allah said that He sealed the hearts of every arrogant power. Jabbar, those who think that they're overpowered, those who think they're arrogant, and that is what it is. So after a while, if you feel as though you're not connected with Allah and what He says, know that Allah has distanced you from what it is, unless you can get your heart inclined with what it is. The fifth benefit of this Tawheed is that we must accept it with resolution and seriousness. We must be convinced that this is the solution to our problems. And Allah says, "Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub," and this is in Surah Al-Ra'd, chapter 13 of the Quran, verse number 28. Allah is asking, it is not with the remembrance of Allah that we gain tranquility. The remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not only to say subhanallah, alhamdulillah, is to remember Him in all aspects of our lives and abide by His injunctions. That is the zikr of Allah. So it is not with this that we achieve tranquility. So if Allah is telling us this, why we want to look elsewhere? And we want to implement every other thing that will bring us failure. So we have to accept this with a strong sense of resolution, this, and be determined on it that this is a solution to our problems. And don't tell ourselves that there's something better. There's nothing better. Today the world is crying for something that we have. Look at the presidential campaign. And I fail to refer to this because I don't think it's justifiable. But I am doing it so that at least we can wake up to the reality. What is one of the biggest issues in this? Credibility. Can't find honest people. Liars. They're being called names. Is not what Islam tells us to abide by. Sidq, the truth. Stick to this and you have no problems. So we have to treat this Tawheed as though it is a solution to our problem. And it is. The Prophet ﷺ lived that. The Khulafa after him that stuck to the right thing lived that. And they experienced tranquility. Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when his attackers enter into his living domain, he was reciting Quran. And they came in to kill him, Muslims. And he saw one of them and he recognized him. He did not make a fuss, say, why you want to kill me? He didn't ask them that. He didn't tell them anything. He continued reciting his Quran. He knew why they were there. But we have to know that we have to live by the truth. And this is what it is. And if Allah have this, then it will happen. And he told one of them, he recognized him. He said, when I see your father in Jannah, the son of Abu Bakr. He said, when I see your father in Jannah, I will tell him what you're about to do. He told him that up front in his face. He didn't say, leave your job aside or forget about what you're doing. I will inform your father. Abu Bakr, when he came back to Medina after the Battle of Badr, and his son accepted Islam and came to Medina, his son told him that, I saw you in the Battle of Badr, and I didn't kill you. Abu Bakr said, Kuntu abhasu anka. I was looking for you, because he was with the mushrikeen. He said, I was looking for you. وَلَوْ وَجَدْتُكْ لَقَتَلْتُكْ. And if I had found you, I would have killed you. So we have to understand that this deen is a deen to stay. It is not going anywhere regardless who think what it is. Because now even the critics are rethinking their approach to the Muslims. They're thinking now that we can't get rid of these people. Their belief is in their heart, not their hands and their lips. So what we have to do now, we have to liberalize their thinking. We have to neutralize their thinking. So that is the next best thing to them. And that is what is happening now. So you better be careful. All of us need to be careful about our mental capacities and its influences, and more so our children. The sixth benefit of this is that if we are so convinced that this is the truth, this is the solution to the world's problem, then all of us as believers have to try our best to make sure that it stays in place with the mercy of Allah and it has some continuity to it. We are living here today, tomorrow we may not be here, but Islam inshallah will be here. So you and I need to make sure we do something practical. Be involved in our masjid. Be involved in some activities that would help Islam with the mercy of Allah to become a permanent part of our domain. And we need to put everything that we possess to make sure that this happens. Because brothers and sisters, when we die, we're leaving everything behind. So it is only wise that we use those resources to be of benefit to us after we die. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Hujurat, chapter 49 of the Quran, verse number 15, إنما المؤمنون الذين آمنوا بالله ورسوله ثم لم يرتابوا وجاهدوا بأموالهم وأنفسهم في سبيل الله أولئك هم الصادقون. Allah made this declaration, not Muneer Khan. Allah. And if you go to Surah Al-Hujurat, chapter 49 of the Quran, verse 15, said, verily those who believe are those who believe in Allah and His Rasul, and they were jahidu bi amwalihim wa anfusihim, and whatever they possess in terms of resources, including themselves, they're willing to spend in the cause of Allah. Wa ulaika humus sadiqun. Allah said, those are the truthful, those are the sincere. So if you and I are not willing to share our time, we're not willing to share our skills, we're not willing to share our resources, we're not willing to share our money, we're not willing to share what we possess to make our society better and to make our existence better, then something is wrong with us. Benefit number 7 is that we should gain happiness in this life and the akhirah with this tawheed. If we are not happy, something is wrong. Because this thing is supposed to bring us ultimate peace and happiness. And to this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Nahl, chapter 16 of the Quran, verse number 97. And all of us, inshallah ta'ala, we should refer back to the Quran because it's our store. Allah says, Man amila salihan min dhakarin wa untha wa huwa mu'min falanuhyiyannahu hayatan tayyibah وَلَنَجْزِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْرَهُمْ بِأَحْسَنِ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Allah said, whoever does good, righteousness, male or female, and they are believers, مِنْ ذَكَرٍ أَوْ أُنْثَى وَهُوَ مُؤْمِنٌ. Allah said, we will give them the best of living they can ever imagine in this world, and we would reward them with the best of rewards in the hereafter. There is no such thing like a lose-lose situation here. We establish Tawheed, we will be dignified and, you know what, respected by others. And they will force to submit to us eventually, regardless what they say. And we can see that now. In a matter of 16 to 18 years, things have changed so drastically for the Muslims. From wanting to kill all the Muslims to now accommodating the Muslims and say they're the best people. We need to cooperate with them and we need to collaborate with them in order to get rid of evil from the world. And if you and I hold on to this Tawheed, there's nothing that can stop us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Isra, chapter 17 of the Quran, verse number 45. إِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ جَعَلْنَا بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ hijaban mastura. If you are to connect with this book, reading this book not only to sit and literally recite it, it means to understand the book, what the injunctions are, what the implications are, how it can influence our lives, how it can make a difference in our situation. Understanding the book. That if you إِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ, Allah says that if you connect with this book, you read this book, جَعَلْنَا بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ hijaban mastura. That I would make a protective shield between you and those who don't believe with the akhirah. That is what Allah said. And according to Imam Qurtubi, Sa'id ibn Jubair narrated, and this is in Qurtubi Tafsir, that when Surah Al-Lahab, chapter 111, was revealed to the Prophet ﷺ about Abu Lahab and his wife, she came looking for the Prophet ﷺ after she heard the revelation, Tabat yada Abi Lahab wa tab. And Abu Bakr was sitting next to the Prophet ﷺ, and he's telling the Prophet ﷺ, she's coming to hurt you. But why don't you step aside or move away? Then the Prophet ﷺ said, no, she would not be able to see me. When this verse was revealed, that is what they said about it. And then she came and she looked at Abu Bakr and she said, I heard your friend is saying poetry about me, referring to Surah Al-Lahab. And then Abu Bakr said, Wallahi, swore by Allah, he doesn't recite poetry, it's revelation. And she turned to him, she said, do you believe that? And she left. So then Abu Bakr turned to the Prophet ﷺ and asked him, how come she didn't see you? She talked to me. And then he said, an angel came and blocked him. You know what they said that our position in relation to that? The Mufassir said that we, you and I, the ordinary people can benefit from that if our tawheed is straight with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is on the basis of the revelation of this ayah from Surah Al-Isra, chapter 17 of the Quran, verse number 45. إِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ جَعَلْنَا بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ حِجَابًا مَسْتُورًا. That if you connect with this book, if you and I read this book, connect with this book, put this book in our lives, Allah said that He would establish a shield between us and those who don't believe in the Akhirah. And those who don't believe in the Akhirah are non-believers. So Allah is saying that He would protect us from them. So what more guarantee do you and I need? فَاسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ فَإِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه الكرام ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. أولا نصلي ونسلم على محمد سيدنا ورسولنا صلى الله عليه وسلم. فإن الله يقول في كتاب العزيز إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من صلى علي مرة صلى الله بها عليه عشر. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. أقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولذكر الله أكبر. الله
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله.